Have you ever wanted to go river tubing up in the mountains? If so, you're going to want to watch this video where I go through the different places where you could go river tubing up on the Green River, which is located in Saluda, North Carolina. Hey everyone, I'm Shane Gordon, a real estate agent with eXp Realty here in the Charlotte, North Carolina region. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos such as this one. If you enjoy the video, please go ahead and hit that like button as well. So me, my family, and some neighbors just recently went tubing up on the Green River in Saluda, North Carolina. So we were interested in doing some tubing and we were wondering where should we go. So I put a lot of research into what locations we could go to, and I figured why not share that with everybody. It's a short distance away from Charlotte relatively. People are always asking me what is there to do around or near Charlotte, not necessarily in Charlotte, so I figured it's only 2 hours away from Charlotte. It's a great fun thing to do for the day. So let me get you some information on some tubing locations and things going on up in the mountains. So I also take advantage of snow tubing since we're so close to the mountains here in Charlotte. And I recently, last winter, did a video on snow tubing and different locations that you can go tubing at. If you're interested in doing that this winter, go ahead and take a look at this video here. So the tubing location I'm going to be talking to you today about is on the Green River up in the Saluda, North Carolina area, which is a small town in the North Carolina mountains. So Saluda is a quaint little town that has a lot of boutique shops and restaurants, and it's only located about 2 hours or so from Charlotte, depending on what part of Charlotte you live in. So a couple things to note about the locations we're going to talk about today. Each location actually requires a 42-inch height. And they will provide you life jackets, but they're not always required. You just got to call each location to determine which ones require it, which ones are optional, but they are definitely offered at each location. Another thing to note is that on the Green River, and probably some other locations throughout the mountains, but definitely on the Green River, no alcohol is actually allowed on the river. So this is actually mandated by the wildlife and law enforcement. So just kind of keep note of that. I don't want anybody to get in trouble with that aspect of things. Another notable thing that you may want to check out, and we kind of ran into this, and we should have known this because we've been up there before, but you may want to call up there and check when dam releases are. Reason for that, sometimes the rivers run a little bit low, and it could mean that you run into a lot of rocks with your tubes, so you're not going as far. You might have to walk a little bit more often to get over those rocky areas. When the dam releases, obviously the water rises, so you'll have less chances where you're actually bumping into the rocks and having to walk as opposed to just staying on your tube the whole time. Either way, it's fun. We just went a few weeks ago. Like I mentioned, didn't check the stats on when that dam was to release, I should say. And I did a little walking, we did a little walking, but there's also some good rapid areas there too. So 1 and 2 category rapids. So nothing too rough, but definitely enough to have some fun while you're on the river. All right, let's dive into it. So my family and all of our friends, we went tubing a couple weeks ago, and we used a company called Green River Cove Tubing. This was a great experience. They had so much available for us. When you get there, you'll actually park in the parking lot. There are bathrooms, there's actually changing rooms as well. A lot of places don't have both utilities, so that's great that they had both of those. When you check in, they give you an option to check your keys, so you don't have to leave them in your car, or you don't have to, really, main reason is so you don't lose them as you're going tubing. That's the last thing you want to do, as some of the guides told us as we were getting bussed up to the starting point. If you lose anything on the river, you can just consider it lost. So as you can imagine, the water's moving. So anything you drop in the water is going to probably flow downriver or get stuck under a rock or do something where you're going to lose it. So you want to make sure you have your keys secure so you can get home, of course. So the cost of this location is actually only $10, so very affordable. And this gets you about a 2.5 hour trip down the river. This is about 3 miles long. There is a longer 6-mile trip that you can take, which would take you anywhere from 4.5 hours, and that's only $5 more. So really, depending on how much time you want to spend on the river, you definitely have options, and both are very affordable. So if you bring your family, you're in a big group, definitely a nice affordable trip and a great time on the river. Yeah, so if you have a waterproof camera, waterproof phone, or a GoPro, something that you can tie to your tube or tie to your wrist or hang around your neck. As I mentioned, you don't want to lose something like that, but There's a lot of different photo opportunities for you to take while you are tubing down the river. There's great nature. It's like we saw a family of turtles sitting on a log. There's fish, so birds throughout the whole river area, and just great scenery. So something that you might want to think about taking as long as you can secure it. Now, if you have a larger group, say 20 or more, definitely 20 or more, you have to make a reservation. They want to make sure they have enough tubes for each and every one of you. Now, after tubing, if you're hungry, I would definitely recommend this barbecue place that we stopped at, which is not more than 10-15 minutes from this tubing location. It's called Green River Barbecue. This place was fantastic. The food was phenomenal. The staff was great. We had 16 people and they were very accommodating to us. So very helpful, fit us all in, sitting next to each other, at tables next to each other anyway. So great location, great food. We would definitely recommend this location. The second place we'll talk about today is Living Waters Tubing. This is a great place as well from what I understand. It's also only $10 for 2 hours, so very affordable. Again, they also have a bus that will take you from the base up to the top where they'll let you go, and it's about a 2-hour tour, as I just mentioned. They also have an ice cream shop where they serve other food as well, so if you're hungry afterwards, they have a little beach area with chairs set up so you can sit there, eat some ice cream, eat some other food, cure that hunger that you just built up from tubing for the last 2 hours or so. Now, if you have 20 or more people for this location, they will actually give you a $2 discount. So something, if you're looking at money and saving a couple dollars, that's something to look at as well. So the third place we'll talk to you today about is Silver Creek Tubing. This location actually charges you $12 for a 2-hour to 4-hour trip down the river. However, if you bring your own tube, it's only $6, and that's so they can take you up the mountain in the bus, in the shuttle. So you can bring your own tube, save some money, or you can just use their tubes for $12 for that time frame that I just talked to you about. This location does have a restaurant on the premises as well called Hill's Kitchen. Haven't eaten there before myself, but looking at the reviews, it looks pretty good. The last place we'll talk to you today about is Wilderness Cove Tubing. This is a great place as well. We went there a couple years back, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Loved it. They did a great job as well. This place does offer a little bit more as far as rentals and times go. So here you'll have the option of tubing for 1 to 3 hours for $15, or there's a 4-hour tour. I like to call them tours, for $20. So as I mentioned, they do have a little bit more to offer. They have the tubes, they have the mini cats, they have kayaks and fishing boats that you can rent out as well. If you plan on renting any of these or have a large group of 20 or more, definitely recommend you calling ahead to make reservations. If you have a large group or a group of 10 or more and you use one payment method, they will discount $2 off per person during the weekdays and $1 off during the weekends per person. As with the other places, this place will also shuttle you up to the top where the starting location is. They will provide life jackets if you choose to wear a life jacket, and they do offer you the opportunity to hold your keys for you. So one of the additives of them holding the keys is they know if you've returned back, so that kind of helps them keep track of everybody's safety, where everybody's at. Now, there are a number of great locations that you can actually go tubing in the North Carolina mountains. This is just one of the great locations that we went to on the Green River in Saluda, North Carolina. And I may be doing a video down the road of some of these other locations as I go visit them myself, but definitely recommend this area as a starting point anyway. Hopefully this will help you plan that day trip to get away from Charlotte for a day and go tubing. If you've been to any other great tubing locations that you could recommend here in the North Carolina area, please leave a comment below. I love hearing about locations and I would love to go visit them myself. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day and take care.